tag by the NOLA Prepper. What's happening, NOLA? Gregorio Chingas up here, just doing a little video response to your tag about the EDC. To answer the first question, yes, sir, I do have an EDC up here, even though it is Chicago and all that good stuff. It's funny because Chicago's knife laws aren't as archaic as their gun laws. So, I mean, really, they're pretty much unchanged, to my knowledge, anyway. This isn't, I'm no lawyer. But to my understanding of what I read, they're the same as the Fed, something like 2.5 inches, and it can't be opened automatically by like a mechanism or something like that. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much how it is over here in Chicago. So, yeah, I do have an EDC, and you'll see what's going on with that in a minute. It's funny because I'm actually glad you tagged me because I'm looking for some feedback here anyway, so hopefully you guys can help me out. So here's the deal, alright? This guy right here, you can see that dude right there. It's been my everyday carry for like about 12 years, okay? 11, 12 years. Alright, there's nothing special about him. He's just a little old. He actually came from Bud K. And the only reason he started getting carried was he was the last man standing out of that Bud K order. A lot of the other stuff broke and what have you. And they said it's not a brand name. He's a little cheapy from China. I think it was like $10 or something like that. And I'll be honest with you, it's done me well, man. It's lasted a long time. I mean, I've only had to sharpen them like one time. And the only issues with them right now are, some of the colored black plastic, whatever. Some of it's starting to flake off right here. I mean, that's really it. I haven't had a problem with this. I mean, this thing's been through hell, man, over 11, 12 years. I mean, it's been in a couple lakes and a couple rivers, and, some of those not by choice. It's been hunting, it's been camping. It's warded off some evil spirits, if you know what I mean. It's there, dude. I mean, it's awesome. I mean, I had no problem with it. But see, the issue was that, it's 12 years old, 11, 12 years old. I don't know, maybe it's time for something else. I'm seeing a lot of other people, knives have improved tenfold from 10 years ago, whatever. All right, so I'm like, all right, we'll see. We'll give it a shot. So, I think what I'm going through is like a midknife crisis, okay? Because, like I said, this guy has done me no wrong, and I don't really believe in changing stuff just to change it. But I mean, who knows if the knife making technology is better, then so be it. So yeah, this has been my everyday carry for a long time. So that's him. Now, I started going through my midknife crisis about March. So I've been back and forth this whole time. So I picked up this guy. This is Gerber. I don't know if you can see that. Gerber, the Bear Grylls signature. Hey, how you doing there? So yeah, the story behind this guy is, I always preach keep an eye on prices, things like that. You want to know why? There's a big box store around March that had a sale. I don't know, it was a website sale. I don't know if it was a screw up or what, but they had these guys listed. This is the size just below the Bear Grylls fixed blade size. I don't know what size that is, but this isn't, a tiny one. I got these for $4, okay, and I got a couple of them because I thought that maybe I stumbled across one of those website errors that, you hear about, and I was like, oh, finally, I get something good, and, yeah, so I just added to cart. Next thing you know, 4 of them show up. And so, yeah, I mean, it's like for all you Gerber and loyalists and anybody else, I mean, there are deals to be had, but anyway, that's another story. So, on to the good and bad about this guy. This guy is razor sharp. Okay, it's one of my first Gerbers. I'm not really, a label whore or anything, but, I mean, at right out of the box, this thing is very, very sharp. And if that's true to all Gerbers, I mean, I might pick up another Gerber, like for one of my other purposes, like a big fixed blade or something like that. But anyway, the things I don't like about this guy are the way it closes. It's the old school, old style. You push back on it. I think I was told that's a better locking mechanism, but I don't like it because I'm more of a one-handed person when it comes to my EDC. I don't want to have to. Oh, okay, here, boom. Now, okay, now let me close it. No, so that's one strike against it. The other thing is, I don't know if it's because it's new or what. I mean, it's not totally new. It's been used. I've been using it, but it's very, very hard to open. I'm pushing, and then it opens. And because it's so stiff and all that, I guess I haven't gotten used to how much pressure it takes to open, but I usually cut my thumb right here on the bottom of the serrated part. Okay, so that's another kind of like, okay. I mean, I would, if this was to become my EDC, I would mess around with probably this button right here or whatever it is and loosen it up or not tighten it, but loosen it up or do whatever I had to do to get it open easier. Okay. There is one other flaw that I don't like about this guy. And if you look right here at the clip, see how it's bent up? Well, for some reason, this guy likes to get caught on my chair at work. Okay, it is the only knife. I've been working there forever. Same chair, too. None of my other knives that I've taken, that I've worn, do that. Okay, this guy, every time I sit down, kinking it just catches. And I'm thinking that it's because of the angle that this guy comes up right here. And it's pretty wide, actually. So, every time I sit down, kink, I'm like, come on, I'm not even touching that thing. But so this got a couple strikes against it. I mean, but it's a great blade, razor sharp right out of the box. Didn't have to do anything to it, right? So that's him. Now, the plot thickens. All right, so I said I had the guy, my original guy. I wanted to get something new. Picked up the Gerber. That wasn't, I just told you about the problems I have. Well, I was at a gun show recently, and I went, and there's these knife guys that I always see at these gun shows. And I'm like, all right, fine, let me see what these guys got. So I went over there, and I ended up picking up a couple of spring-loaded guys like these. It's I like this knife, of course, the design. I'm digging that. It's a really heavy knife, carbon blade, spring assisted, not, opening by a button, just spring assisted. Really sharp blade. Something that I failed to mention is that I do like the blades with the serrated and the smooth edges both intact. So so I'm like, all right, can't lose with these guys. They're the right price, whatever. And plus, too, if you see right there, that's seatbelt cutter. Okay, I mean, that was a big plus to it right there, too, because I have those life hammers in the car. But, I always used to think, what happens if, you get in an accident and the life hammer comes flying off of where it was mounted? They said you're upside down in the car, hammers in the back seat, and water's coming in. Well, guess what? You're screwed. Anyway, so that was a big plus, too, is it had the seatbelt cover. We have the spring assisted, the two types of the serrated and the smooth edge. It's nice and heavy. And I was like, all right, sold. So I picked up two of these. One of this style, of this, whatever you call it, decoration style, whatever. The other one's for my hunting bag. It's Realtree Camo. So, I went to that gun show on Saturday. Come Monday, put this baby on, head to work. Well, come time, conductor comes around, give me your ticket, whatever. Reach into my pocket, grab my ticket, pull my hand out of my pocket, something goes flying. Okay? I'm like, what was that? Whatever. I didn't see what it was. Fine. Well, I'm sitting there, it was bugging me all day because, 5 in the morning, I'm half asleep. Only things I got in my pockets are my phone, my wallet, and my little knife here. And I'm like, what was that, something flew out of my pocket. About halfway through the workday, I'm like, oh no. So I yanked this guy out. I don't know if you guys could see right here. There's a hole. Okay? Where is this guy? Right there, there's a hole. Alright? What do life hammers have in addition to the seatbelt cutter? They have a windshield breaker. Okay? So this guy had a windshield breaker too. But it flew off on the first day I was carrying it. And I'm like, that's a total letdown. It really is, because, well, there was not anything destructive in my pocket. It was just, my ticket. I mean, it just not like there was anything that could have broken it off with a lot of force or anything like that. So it was a total letdown. But who knows? I mean, like I said, it seems well constructed. I like it. Maybe this is one of those things that everything came out good except for, one piece of it. Maybe that was the piece. Who knows? I'm going to take the real true camo when I go hunting. I'm going to take his other brother over here. And I might throw it at a tree or something and see what happens. See if the pieces break off. See how it holds up. Just because, I'm still a little skeptical after seeing that. But who knows? This still might be the heir apparent. We'll see about that. But something else that was a bugger about this guy was, I don't know if you can see right here, this clip. It's it's a pocket clip, whatever. It comes to a really, really, not a sharp point, like to where you could. I mean, I guess you could stab yourself or something, but it comes to a point nonetheless. And the problem is, every time I'd move around, I've wore this guy like 5-6 times. Every time I put a shirt on, and whenever the shirt moves, this guy actually snags a thread at the bottom of the shirt, a little seam. And so now I got like 4 or 5 of my favorite shirts over here that are snagged and, coming apart now, because every time they rubbed up against this guy, it was so thin enough to go and just to yank out a hem and fit perfectly in between those little gaps there. So that was another bummer. I mean, that could be fixed. I mean, I could just change this guy off. It's 3 little screws. I'm not too worried about that. But honestly, its dependability has me questioned now. The reliability of it, because that's just not cool if a piece breaks off on the first day. But yeah, so I mean, other than that, it's got the closing piece that I like, that locking mechanism that I like. Like I said, I like its weight, and it seems like a really good blade, just like the Gerber, the steel carbon, whatever. So that's my midknife crisis there. Hopefully you guys could give me some feedback on it, and we could figure out if we go with Old Reliable, who, who knows, he might just, continue to be Old Reliable until something happens, he lets me down or breaks or whatever. Bear Grylls over here, which is a Gerber, good name, but, did Bear Grylls get called out for not, coming off like he was totally secluded in the shows, and all of a sudden it came out he wasn't? That's another strike. And then we got the new guy who was getting ready to replace Old Reliable, and kind of let me down on the first day just because he couldn't hold his little button. But, well, whatever you guys got, let me know what you're thinking, and then we'll nominate one of these guys for everyday carrier. I mean, even if it's a combination of something, like take this clip off and put it on this guy so it doesn't snag my shirts all the time, things like that. But, yeah, man, thanks for the tag. Look forward to any comments, guys. Take it easy.